Let's make a cool and refreshing plant-based lemon mousse. Welcome back to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we're gonna make this delicious, light and refreshing lemon mousse. And yes, if you've noticed, we are in a different kitchen. We're just in that phase of life that we're downsizing and moving on to another adventure of life. So we're just gonna bring you all along with us. So let's get started on this mousse. So you're gonna need just your small blender, and we're gonna start with a fourth of a cup of almond flour, or you could also use cashews, that would work just great. A fourth of a cup of firm tofu. Oops. A half a cup of pitted dates, and I usually use deglette dates because in something like this, where you don't want more of that brown color to come through, you want a lighter, yellowy color to reflect the lemon flavor. I feel like less color comes from the deglette dates. If you use bejewel, it's gonna be a little bit more brown, but half a cup of dates. Half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. A fourth of a teaspoon of turmeric, and that's just gonna give it a little bit more of that vibrant yellow color, because the lemon juice really isn't going to give us that color. A third of a cup of lemon juice, and a half a cup of an unsweetened plant milk. This is an unsweetened soy milk because it literally just has soybeans and water. And our pantry ingredients today are from our partner Essential Organics, who carry over 600 organic products. And if you want to check them out, you can use the code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to get 10% off your first order. All right, so now we're ready to blend. So you're just going to blend this really until you can't see any more of those date chunks, which takes a little bit. Okay, there we go. Nice and smooth and creamy. All right, so right now it's still pretty liquidy, so you have to put it in the fridge for at least 3 hours, preferably overnight. So you're just gonna put the lid back on this and stick it in the fridge. Next, we're gonna move on to making an almond cream that's gonna go on the top of that pudding. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of free printable recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook series, are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting membership community. So if you love our recipes, I invite you to join us on our mission to make plant-based cooking easy, and follow the link in the description to become a supporting member today. There's no denying the plant-based diet is a nutrient powerhouse, but did you know there are a handful of hard-to-get nutrients even well-crafted diets are often lacking? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why my daily health routine includes Complement Essential. Complement Essential contains the 8 critical nutrients lacking from most plant-based diets in dosages optimized specifically for us. Plus, Complement is completely transparent about ingredient sourcing and third-party testing, publishing the results directly on their website. As a special discount for our viewers, just use code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Okay, so next onto the almond cream, which is completely optional. You don't have to do this one, but it really does, because the lemon mousse is so tart, it really helps to cut a little bit of that tartness and just leave you with a really light, refreshing, delicious dessert. All right, so we're a half a cup of almond flour, half teaspoon of vanilla extract, 4 deglette dates, and half a cup of soy milk. All right, we're just gonna blend this up just the same, and this takes just a little bit longer to get all those chunks out of the dates because there's less ingredients in there, but just keep with it. And if you still can't get all the date chunks out, you can always run it through a little sieve to catch those little chunks if it bothers you. All right, there we go. Creamy and smooth. All right, the same thing here. We're just gonna stick it in the fridge overnight. I've already pre-made some, so I'm gonna get that stuff out, and I'm gonna show you a cute little tip on how to prepare it. Okay, so you have two options here, or as many options really as you want, for what you're gonna serve these in. You could either just use a cute little cup, you know, and you can just fill that up, and you can do that either before you refrigerate your mousse or after. I just chose to do it after so I could put it in this little piping bag so I could show you this other method. So the other method is you use your lemons that you squeezed for the juice, and you cut them, you know, lengthwise like that so it makes a cute little boat, and then you scrape out the innards because you don't really want any of the lemon pulp in there because it will add to the sourness of your pudding. So I just put it in a piping bag just so it's a little bit easier to get into your little cups. So you just fill it pretty much even with the top, just like that. And then you can kind of settle it. So this isn't a super firm pudding. If you want it to be more firm, you'll just back off on the liquid of your lemon mixture. And then you're gonna take your almond cream, put it in a piping bag also, and then you're just gonna pipe that on to the top of your mousse, just like that. And then you can garnish it with the cute little slices of strawberry or blueberry, or a little thing of mint would be so colorful on that. All right, I'm gonna finish these up and then I'll meet you at the table for a taste. All right, here goes. Get a little bit of each, a little bit of the cream, a little bit of the pudding. I love lemon desserts. I bet you will too. Come on back next week for another great recipe.